Hello, how are you doing today? How is your today going? Do you know your today has a role to play in your tomorrow? Yes, your yesterday and today are part of your tomorrow. You must be wondering, what is she talking about? Where is she going to with this? The choice or choices we make show up in our tomorrow. They can either make or break our tomorrow. They can either taint or flavor our tomorrow. Why am I saying this, or where am I going to with this? Well, as usual, I have a story to share. I have a story that convinced me beyond the shadow of doubt that whatever we do today, a lot of times has a link to our tomorrow. You see, when we talk about the big picture, we always imagine some big picture that appears in the future. But you know what the big picture really is? It's a series of small pictures of yesterday and today that come together, that culminate and form that big picture we see in the future. If we look closely at the big picture, we will see some of the small pictures that were taken many, many yesteryears and many todays ago. So that story I talked about, let me share the story. It's about my mom. You know, when I was growing up, donkey years ago, my mom had a fetish. She loved recording us using cassettes. You know, this was the Spotify, this was the iTunes back then. If you don't know what this is, hello, Gen Z, ask Mr. Google. But anyway, she used to love recording us at any given point in time. You know, she just will record us singing, she record us playing, she record herself, and we couldn't understand as kids, my siblings and I, we couldn't understand why was she, I mean, this pastime of hers, was annoying as far as we're concerned because yes, it was heaven to her, but to us it was hell as a lot of times she ate into our playtime. We would rather be playing than be recording boring songs, than being forced to, and you know how it is. Sometimes you don't like hearing your voice after it's recorded. It sounds funny, so we didn't enjoy doing that, but my mom just, it was her pastime. It was her form of recreation, her best form of recreation, just recording and recording and recording. Well, the advent of CDs kind of started pushing her craze for recording away, and in no time, the recorder stopped, the cassettes were stored in a trunk, and once in a while she'll bring them out and maybe something she recorded with maybe friends or something, she will listen to it. And with time that even stopped because there were other things, that had come on the scene. So years went by, and the cassettes started accumulating dust in the trunk somewhere, in the house. Nobody, she didn't even bother listening to them again. But as life will have it, my mom had a stroke, and she had to live her life. When I say live her life, her style of life, and come and stay with us, her kids. I have two siblings, so she stayed with me, stayed with my brother, stayed with my sister, and so on and so forth, you know. And she was away from her friends, because she had to come and stay with us abroad. She had to leave, the country and move in with us so we can at least tend to her, keep an eye on her, and care for her, you know. So with her being away from her friends, with her being away from the normal, the usual, what do you think she started craving for? What do you think, was going to make up all the void that was in her? You guessed right. The cassettes. The cassettes. So on one of my trips back home, she asked me, "Can you please look for those cassettes? Can you find them and bring them to me?" And with pleasure, I found those cassettes and I brought them back to my mom. Oh my goodness. The last 2 years of my mom's life, I could hear her tickled, happy, at times crying, just hearing the voice of some of her friends that were already long gone. You know, these cassettes kept her company till she was called back home. What am I trying to say? When my mom was doing these cassettes, recording these cassettes 20 years or more, did she ever know a time would come in her life where she would depend on these cassettes to encourage her? Did she know she was recording for the future? Did she know this was going to be a part of the big picture for her last days on this earth? You know, our yesterday, our today has a role to play in our tomorrow. So I think we should be intentional with how we live our lives, with what we do on a daily basis, because we never know how it will show up and either work for our good or not work for our good in our tomorrow. I hope this blessed you. Until next time, stay blessed.